What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and we kind of expected this was going to be the case. This is the Gear 5 Luffy that was featured briefly in One Piece Film Red, and this is another anniversary exclusive character coming for the 9.5 anniversary very, very shortly. I don't think we have an exact date at the moment for when this Sugo Fest is going live, but this new Luffy is going to be debuting alongside the new Shanks, which I have just uploaded a video for, so make sure to check it out on the YouTube channel. This time around, we're going to break down this Luffy character, really hoping for big things here, so let's go ahead and get started. Luffy is a strength fighter powerhouse, so the exact same type class combination as the version 1 Snake Man. Interesting. You don't see too many powerhouse Luffys, so I think this is actually really cool. I like this a lot. His superclass is for fighters as well. You can just notice that there as well, which is pretty interesting. Fighters need a bit of a buff, so I hope he gives some kind of indirect or direct buff to fighters. Let's have a look at this captain ability here. So he gives -2 cooldown, which is great. And then he's focusing on fighter powerhouse / a free spirit. 5.5 when you get a matching slot, 5.25 otherwise. 1.3 health, recovery tandem and matching, allows you to obtain recovery with perfects, remove paralysis by 10, reduces his cooldown by 3 turns every time a fighter or a powerhouse uses a special. Very similar to Shanks, very reminiscent captain ability to Shanks, especially with this effect as well. You can use it up to 8 times per quest, 4 times in a single turn. I don't have too many complaints about this. Recovery in tandem being beneficial is cool, but there's so many ways to make recovery in tandem beneficial. I wish this was like some type of type slot, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it's just a solid captain. I mean, I love the cooldown, HP's good, multipliers are perfectly respectable, paralysis reduction is fantastic. Again, I don't have really too many qualms with this at all. Let's have a look at this special though. So his special applies a 1.5 times increased damage taken for 2 turns, ignoring immunity. That is absolutely bonkers good. That's really, really good. Changes crew slots to tandem, doesn't go through block slots. And then if the crew has an attack buff when you launch the special, it sets the chain multiplier boundary to 2.75, maximum of 35 for 2 turns. And then buff the attack boost by 0.5. Boost fighter and powerhouse / a free spirit attack by 2.75 for 2 turns otherwise. So if you can use his special and then somehow charge his special fully back to use it again in the same turn, that is ridiculous. But I don't think that's going to be very easy to do, as he only reduces cooldown by 3 turns every time a crewmate uses a special, and that means you would have to, use 4 other specials to get Luffy to launch again. Then again, if you have 2 Luffy captains, you can use both in the same turn, and boom, boom, you're good to go. You get the chain boundary, you get the attack boost, you get the buffed attack boost. And it's a 0.5 increase as well, so the 2.75 actually goes up to 3.25. It's pretty strong, but the increased damage taken through immunity is ridiculous. Like, that is exceptional. That's a really good effect. Doesn't go through block slots with the tandem slot change, but I think that's a pretty weird effect that he doesn't do that. So no block slot removal kind of sucks. Maybe his superclass does that. We'll go through that in a second. Crewmate ability 1. Okay, his crewmate abilities are basically the exact same as Shanks. Okay, no issues there. Let's move on. Support effect to any fighter. If they use a special to reduce cooldown, give them a matching slot, give them -1 cooldown. Exact same support as Shanks. I don't see it being very useful. Okay, superclass effect. So you need to use 2 of the following characters on the crew. So it's a bit more restrictive, but you've got any one of the Straw Hats. You've got Shanks Law, Sunny-kun, Katakuri, Oven Brule, Uta Kobe. Pretty good combination of characters there. Completely removes this character's despair, so very similar to Shanks. Changes the attack multiplier of recovery and tandem to 2.5. That's really cool. And that's for 2 turns. And then fighters become super fighter. Okay, I was expecting a little bit more there. No block slot removal in this entire kit, so I'm a little bit upset about that. Final tap. Okay, let's see. Final tap just launches at the final battle. Adds 1.0 times of damage dealt by normal attacks of other strength characters on top of the final damage. That is really, really good. That's exceptional. So this is the final tap akin to Luffy Crew, akin to Kinemon Denjiro, which came out literally 12 months ago. So it's kind of fitting that we have another final tap very similar to this. Final tap alone is carrying this character pretty hard. We already know how good K-Dad and Luffy Crew's final tap is, and now we have a new version of it with a different set of skills. So I think it goes without saying that this final tap is very strong. And I do think that, just judging from the kit that I've read here, I feel like this is a more valuable character compared to what Shanks is doing. But at the same time, Shanks does have the ability to do defense down through immunity, which is also very powerful. So, you know, take it as you will. The fact that I just think that this character's like potential abilities of Final Tap is better than what, you know, Shanks had with his Super Tandem. His Super Tandem was just kind of bad. But then this guy's Final Tap is really strong. So I like it. Of course, it is only just working with strength characters. So it's a Luffy crew, but it's restricted to damage that only strength characters do. So again, you have to take that into account. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, he's a strength unit with Powerhouse as his class. So he actually could synergize with the Strength Magma Kaido that came out a little bit earlier on this year, so that's kind of interesting too. So that's really cool. I like that they've given him Powerhouse instead of Free Spirit, making this character work in different types of teams instead of just trying to fit more Free Spirit Luffys onto the same teams and swapping and changing. The fact that he is Powerhouse means that you can use him on many other teams. So I like that. I think this is a good character. I really like what they've done here. So let's move on to his Pirate Rumble kit. So in Pirate Rumble, he's going to be a Strength Powerhouse Fighter. Remember that. His special 35 CT is a little bit on the higher end, but he gives your strength allies level 5 attack for 30 seconds, which is great. And then he targets 2 enemies, ignoring defense for 1.5 damage up to 3 separate times. That's incredible. And then when his HP is below 60%, he targets enemies in a large range for 3.5 damage. He just does a lot of damage. He's just going to hit really hard, and he doesn't give a single solitary crap about what you're doing. That damage through defense is really good, and he does it to 2 different enemies, and he does it 3 separate times. So if you can get this guy to level like 150, and you have these really high attack multipliers on this guy, he's just going to be a truck. He's gonna be absolutely decimating your opponent with that damage through defense, and then that also, if he's somehow below 60% health, getting that additional hit as well is really good. So this Rumble ability, he gives Strength Attack 6, Defense 6, Speed 6, and if he's below 60%, he gets 5 Shield, 5 Attack. Pretty good. I mean, no real issues there. It's pretty basic, but it makes sense. It's a good effect. And then let's have a look at his Grand Party stuff. So in Grand Party, he can launch his special when your team uses 6 specials. Pretty easy. And he does 3 enemies with high special CT for 5,000 fixed damage. And then if you use the special in the first 60 seconds, he targets all enemies for 4 times his attack damage. But then if it's after 60 seconds, he targets all enemies for a 60% CT delay. So he's kind of, you can use him in a couple of different scenarios. You can use him offensively, or you can use him in a more utility sense. Okay, I mean, I wish that all of these effects activated simultaneously, but the fact that you kind of have to pick and choose, I'm not a big fan of it, especially as we said, we keep saying this, the fact that Gear 5 is still a character that we can use in Grand Party, I don't feel like there's much of a reason to use anyone else at the moment, but it seems okay. He gives buffs to Strength, Powerhouse, and Fighter, nothing really too crazy. In normal content though, he seems pretty good actually. I don't mind it. The one thing that I don't like is that he doesn't get around block slots by himself, so you have to abuse other ways to do that. So that does kind of suck. His support effect is not the greatest. His super class is acceptable. His final tap is very good, and he's got a good captain. Like I could see this character being used in a lot of content, and I love the fact that he's not a free spirit unit because we have so many free spirit Luffys. So it just means that you can use this guy in a lot of other different teams, and you know you can use him alongside that Kaido is the number one thing that I'm thinking of right now. That Kaido with this Luffy is going to be an absolute beast. So I can't wait to potentially pull this guy and use him alongside that Kaido in some content, and especially because the next Kizuna next month is probably going to be a Super Boss Kizuna, where a lot of these anniversary characters are likely going to be very useful for that type of content. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the brand new Gear 5 Film Red Luffy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about him down below in the comment section. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.